Alright, this is a tutorial on how to do ladder leagues. Hopefully you can follow along. It's going to be a big one, but we are going to start. So essentially, the first thing you're going to want to do is check in Court Reserve and see what ladder leagues are currently happening at which location. So, for example, Byron Center, you can go to Leagues and click Sessions, and this is what's happening at Byron Center currently. So what I do is I have a Google Sheets here that tells me what currently is happening. And this is kind of your master thing to look at. So currently for winter 2025 at Byron Center, we have these leagues, the weekday, the league level, etc. This helps me create promos. This helps me know who's hosting, everything. So this is kind of, and it also can auto calculate. If you put however many weeks there are per thing, it'll auto calculate the prices for non-member, monthly, annual. So when you do make the event on Court Reserve, you can refer to this. So first thing I do is I figure out when these are going to finish, and what you normally want to do is have all the leagues start in the same week and end at the same week. I've noticed it's a hassle if a league asks to extend by a week because they missed a certain week. I usually try to say no. If there's inclement weather and we had to cancel a week, I don't add another week. I just refund them. That's the best way, because what you want to do is when this is finalized, at the end of this, all of these can start consecutively on the next week. So when you go and tell everybody, each new group on their first week, how to do everything, you don't have to come back the next week, and you just don't want it split up essentially. So this is perfect. They all finish the same week here. So what I do is I talk with the team and figure out, do we want to continue doing these same leagues on the same days at the same times? And Dan and I have already discussed, and we want to do the same thing here, except we're going to move these two Fridays to Thursdays because now we no longer have Thursday premiere night. So what I do from that point is I duplicate this tab already. I have it here, and I added Cedar Rock as well because we want to add Cedar Rock. So I've figured out that we're going to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the same times at Byron Center except for Thursday. We're going to move them to Thursdays. And then consecutively for Cedar Rock, I am trying to not have it the exact same league level on the same night. That way people, if they wanted to play one night and come to Cedar Rock and play a different night, they're not on the same nights. So then I'm going to check with Seth or whoever's over Cedar to make sure that they are okay with this. I'm not checking with them yet because I need to figure out what the start dates are, the end dates are, and if there's any holidays in between, right? Or if there's any issues in Court Reserve. So what I do now is I'm going to work on Byron Center. I know that I want to start the next week after this. So after that week of the 21st. So if I look, March 21st is the last day, the Friday. So we're gonna start up this day, 24th. So I'm gonna want to do, we decided we're gonna do 10 weeks. So we will try 10 weeks. And when I say try, I mean sometimes when we look in here, we'll realize that one of these days falls on a holiday. So we have 10 weeks going on here. And what I like to do, what's easiest is, give me a moment here. I like to ask it, let's see. So we said March 21st, so the 24th. So I'm gonna put in, that's a Monday, I believe. Yep, 324, 325, 26, 27, 327. Okay, so we want to do 10 weeks, so that'd be 1 week, 2 weeks, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the 26th is when it ends of May. So 5/26. You get the point, right? Okay. So I need to figure out what days off there's going to be. So what I like to do is just say 24th to May 29. I say Are there any U.S. holidays between March 24 and May 29? You don't have to do it this way, but sometimes it's easier. I'm saying show me the days of the week they are. Okay. So we gotta worry about, we don't have anything on Sundays, Mother's Day, and Memorial Day. So the only one that follows on this is Memorial Day, May 27. So, which is this last day here. Which did they say it was? No, they said it was a Monday. That's weird. Monday, May 27. That's weird. It's May 26th. Okay, don't trust ChatGPT. Maybe you'll want to just do this then. I'll look for major holidays here. I have holidays in here as purple. So we used to March 24. All right, holidays, purple. Let's look. Easter Monday. All right, so going through, I see Cinco de Mayo is May 5th. So we'll probably want to take that off, which is, let's see, Monday, May 5th. So 5/5. Memorial Days, May 26th on Monday.
I don't think people expect to have Cinco de Mayo.
Okay, we'll just say May 26th because Cinco de Mayo apparently is not a huge deal. I guess that's it. Okay, so because there's a day off that we need for Monday, it's actually not going to be 10 weeks, it's going to be 9 weeks. All right, so Byron Center, lately I've been doing, I believe, 4 courts. No, 5 courts. So I'm doing 5 courts. I'm gonna do 5 courts for all. Oops. I do pace values because I want the colors. So the reason why we do 5 courts, and the way leagues work is we do 5 people to a court, and I'll explain how that works later. But essentially, the math turns out to be 25 players. So for the pricing, this is kind of interesting because we have it over winter and summer, so we have 2 different rates. So Dan already kind of created an amount per thing. Oh, you know what? And he said to take off the first week of spring break is 2. So what we're gonna do is take off all of these weeks. So we're gonna take off the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and then 11th, 9/26, and 4/7, and then okay, 4/8, 4/9. 10. Okay, so we have 2 days off here, so actually going to be 8 weeks, and then it's going to be 9, 9, 9, 9. So we took off the whole week of spring break because we knew people are going to be gone that week. He auto calculated it for me, but usually if everything follows along a 1 season, I have it set where the annual price is auto calculated based on this per day cost down here. So that would work. What we typically do is the per day cost is the normal rate plus $2 an hour. So currently in the winter time, non-members they would pay $18 at the full rate, or they pay $9 an hour at the full rate, but we'd add $2 an hour, so it'd be 11, and these are 2-hour sessions, so it's 22. So, but this for this scenario, it's a mix. So Dan kind of already did it here. And I need to make sure this is right because we've got different days off. But for these here, all the ones that have 9 weeks that only have 1 day off, like Dan calculated, it'd be 182, 146, 110. So I'm just going to put this in here now. It's not going to calculate anymore, but that's okay. 146, 110. Okay. And then this one we also have this week off plus minus 18, minus 14, minus 10. We have this day off as well. Minus 18, minus 14, minus 10. Okay. So I'm actually just going to, all right, so non-members should have 18 less than that. Oops. Sorry, I'm running real slow right now. 182 minus 18. 164. 164. Monthlies are minus 14, so it's 132, and then minus 10, it's 100. Okay, so this is the price. This is the pricing for the new leagues here. And like I said, when you copy this tab to the next session, you can make it where it auto calculates. If it all falls under the summer price, you can just link it to this price and it'll update it accordingly. So from this point forward, when I figure out the dates, after I figure out the dates, and I start putting them in court reserve and make sure that there's going to be no conflicts. And if there are, then I update what days off I need to add, etc. So we're going to start with the Monday 4045 co-ed. So if you go to leagues, make sure you're in the right thing here. If you go to leagues, there's a list here, and the list is essentially, I put everything in kind of like, this is kind of like a group, right? The reason why I did that is because when you go into this list, so this 3035 doubles co-ed, if you go into it, there's sessions inside of that. Once I add a session, it's actually going to copy everything from this one. So I had them separated so that when I go to 4045 session and I create a new one, it's going to have all that same information from that one. If all of these were in one list and I went into the sessions and created the session, it's only going to copy from the last one that I made. So this is like a quick way for me to make new ones each time. So in 4045, I'm going to go here to view. Actually, sorry, I go to lists, 4045 sessions, and now I'm going to create a new session. And now it copied everything over that I had in my last session. So this is where this list is helpful. I know it's Monday 4045 8 to 10, and we're going to start on March 24. Okay, so title is fine. We don't do any kind of rating. We don't restrict by age. The price type on league registration means that they pay the entire amount when they register. That's how we currently do it. It's not time based, and the ranking algorithm is points 1%. I can explain that later. Max register players, it's 25 people, and we're also 25 max players per session game day. So enable max movement means how much do they move week to week. If we don't have that checked, they could be on the bottom court, they could win, they could get 100% and they jump to court 1. We don't want that to happen. We only want them to move 6 spots maximum per week. So that's what we have set now. Allow waitlist is somebody who wants to be on a waitlist and join. So the way I have it set up is the leagues work for 5 people to a court, which means not everybody shows up week to week. They can opt in and out, letting us know if they're going to show up. They don't need a substitute. The way this works is if there's, say, 19 people that showed up to our league, the court reserve is automatically going to assign some courts with 5 people and some courts with 4 people. And so what we're saying is if we want 4 people, what they're going to do is a 2 rotations to 11, which means every person on that court is going to rotate with everybody twice. So you get to play with each person on your court twice, and you're going to play 2-11. And it's first to 11, not win by 2. And the scoring format is alternate partner, which means you're gonna play with the 3 people, and then when you're done playing with 3 people on your court, you're gonna play with that person again. So you're not gonna play with somebody and then play with them again. It's alternating the partners. And then the way I have it set here is 5-person rotations. If there's a court of 5, those people are going to be playing first to 15, and that means one person has a bye each game. So you basically play with everybody. You'll play 4 games here, and you'll play 6 games here. And then the assigned 5-man rotational preference, that basically means that when there's courts of 4 and courts of 5, you could have the lowest court have 5 people. It's preferential to have the lowest court with 5, and then the next lowest court would possibly have 5, and so on and so forth. So halfway through, I usually switch this over to top, so that means court 1 now will have 5 people, and then court 2 will possibly have 5 people depending on who's there. And I switch it because it switches it up a little bit, and it makes it so that the top court isn't always 4 people, or the bottom court isn't always 4 people, based on how many people show up week to week. Visible on member player, that means they need to be able to see it on there. Allow players withdraw, go inactive, that's fine. Allow players to report score, that's very important. And then coordinators, what coordinators are I'll show you here. In winter 2025, a coordinator is basically is basically our host. So the way I have it set now is we have 2 hosts per ladder league, and each host gets 25% off the entirety of their league. And I confirm with them once I confirm the schedule and the dates and times, then I text the previous host from the last session to see if they want to re-up again. So for example, for Monday 4045, when I create this session and get it finalized, I'll make sure all the dates are right and we're good to go. Then I connect with Kim and Mike and text them and say, hey, Kim and Mike, these are the dates and times that we're looking at doing the next session. Are you wanting to host? And if so, they say yes, and I put their name in here and their phone number. What hosting is essentially they are going to be there every week, and the reason why I have 2 is because if Kim can't make it that week, Mike is the backup host. And what they do is they show up every week, and in the lounge they do a roll call for all the players, and they take their phone out and they make sure everyone's opted in, and they do roll call verbally and make sure everyone's there. They opt in and out people based on their attendance, and then they start the game day, which means that people can view what court they're on and they can input their scores on their phone themselves. And then at the end of the day, or at the end of the night, once the matches are finalized, they go ahead and hit finish game day. The hosts are also responsible for moving any absentees down manually 2 spots. And I have a tutorial for that for the host that you can send them. I have many tutorials on how to do things in ladder leagues. However, that's essentially what they're doing. If there's any problems, then they will be contacting you day or hopefully prior to that with any problems. But the hosts are there to facilitate any emergencies, to start the game day, and answer any questions that players may or may not have. Players also will have the host numbers, so if they are running late but they're planning on coming to play, they will be texting the host letting them know that they're on the way but they're running late for the roll call that happens in the lounge 5 minutes prior to the start time. So that is the role of the host. So essentially, I'm not going to fill that in yet, but I will go through that part. If we have a new host, we have to go through Court Reserve and add them as a sub-administrator and give them specific rights to be able to coordinate this specific league. Okay? So for the league price, this is where we're going to put in the right pricing. So what we want to do is make sure that we put the right in. So it'll be 242, 198, and 154. So it's interesting actually how that, oh wait, we got to be on spring. Sorry about that. 164, 132, 100. So we're going to put it 164 in for the public embed, also for any non-members. So non-members, 164, 164. Okay, now we're on monthly membership. So we want 146, 146, 146. Now we're on annual members. So we want, oh, I'm sorry, I did the wrong number, sorry. Okay, 132 it should be. So 132. Okay, now we're annual, just 100. So 100, 100, 100, 100. And then employees are 100 as well. Those they're considered annuals. And then partner team is nothing. So you want is public checked on, allow online registrations, require upfront payment, and this all checked on. Requires approval, does not matter. Okay, so this registration starts date. This is one thing we did not do yet. I want to actually have this all done this week and promote it. So I'm going to say what's the date today? So I want to promote it. So I want Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 21, 22, and 23. So I'm going to say 21, 22, 23. What this means is we give certain members access to register before other people, right? So non-members or annuals get the first dibs. So we're going to say the 21st for annuals. So 21st, first. Oh wait, sorry, I'm doing the wrong day. My brain's not working. February 21. So I'm gonna copy that. See if I can paste it. Yep. I do 12 p.m. in the afternoon. Most people are available then. All right. So now we're on. Okay, monthly members. We said 22. Okay, I'm gonna copy that. Okay, now we're on non-members. So we're gonna do 23. Copy that. Okay. And then double check your work. 22, 22, 21, 21. Okay, registration ends. It's not a huge deal. Okay, so opt-in closes before game day. What this means is we're telling people that they need to make sure that they opt in at least 24 hours before each week. What that tells us is how many people are planning on being there that week. That way we can open up courts if we only have, three courts worth of people for that league. We can, a day before, we can open up 2 courts for the public to use. So if they don't opt in before that time, they get locked out and they lose out on that opportunity to play. So that's why we're doing that. So one day before is what we do. Show standings, that all needs to be checked on for everyone. And then we are good to go there. So that's just the details. Now we're gonna go through with the dates. So we want to create a new schedule. So we're saying March 24 to May 26. So March 24, and it's 8 to 10 p.m. 8 to 10 p.m. We want to recur every week. We want to recur every 1 week, every week basically on Mondays. And we are ending by May 26. Okay, and then exception dates are the days off basically. So 5/26 and 4/7. So 5/26 and 4/7. We want to say pickleball types and then all the courts. This is where I'll tell you if there's an error or something wrong with the dates and times, where there's something overlapping in the schedule. And then that should be it. Then we hit save. Now we should see we have 8 weeks, which here we said 8 weeks, so that's right. 25 people, 5 courts, and that should be it. So if we actually go to our website and go to ladder leagues, we should see, let's see, go to the leagues list. Oh, hold on 1 second. It should show up. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, March 24th right here. Now, nobody's gonna be able to register because they don't have admin rights. And then another thing to note too is under rules, I have it already copied over from the other one. But if you go to this, if anyone clicks on this button, it brings them to the Ladder League Google Doc. And this basically gives all the information on the ladder leagues. So if you were to ever change the format of the ladder leagues, in general, you want to go here and make sure that you make a change here so that people get the latest information. But that's important to have there, and that should be it for that. So what I do now is I contact the last host, and let me go back to the schedule sessions. Oops. Okay, leagues, sessions. And then one thing I forgot to note here is this is not winter. This is considered spring. Okay. All right. 164, 132, 100. It's really important to just check your work. 164, 132, 100. Just make sure all the pricing is right and everything is kosher. And then sometimes I even do this. I know it's every Monday starting March 24. So I'm just going to the 24th and just making sure that this is not like overlapping with anything. I just go week to week just to double check that I'm not seeing something that, okay, it's not here because that was one of our days off, but I'm not overriding like an event or anything kind of crazy. Okay. Okay, 26 should be the last. Oh yeah, we have that day off too. Okay, so that's how I double check my work as well. Okay, so now that Monday is done, almost, we contact the hosts from last and ask them if they want to do it. Let's say they did. We put their name, their phone, this backup name, and backup host phone. And then check-in sheets is essentially some hosts like a paper sheet of all of the registrants with check-in boxes. So when the registrants or the players get in, they basically check off that they're there so they can see that when they do roll call, they're actually in the building and in the bathroom or something. And so it's kind of their double check. Some hosts do that. Most hosts are saying no right now. So you just have to double check and ask them that. Needs kickoff. That's essentially like if there's a new host and they don't know how to explain the rules and everything, or they don't feel comfortable, I ask them, hey, do you want to start it off yourself? Or do you want me to be there and give everybody the run through? Sometimes they say, I got it, I've been doing it for a while, or they say, sure, you do it. So that lets me know if I have to be there for the first week to kick it off. And then I also, prior to the league starting, or actually the day of when they're there, I asked if they want to do duper scores, and we have the ability to export duper scores week to week and import them into the duper website so that people can establish their duper ratings. So I also ask them in person as well. And the only way that I go forward with it is if somebody contests against not wanting to do it. Typically 3-5 and up usually say no, but the lower levels do not care. So you can do that, and I give access to the hosts to be able to do that themselves. And I also have a tutorial that you can send them in order for them to do so. You do not have to do that yourself. So I just basically write yes or no in these, so I know if I have to be there that week or not, and or if I have to make check-in sheets. And I will show how to make the check-in sheets. I guess I can do it right now. So what you want to do is you want to wait until it's closest to the start date, because if it's not full, then you're gonna have to update the sheet and reprint it. But let's go into the women's here, and you want to click players, and you want to say notify text. Okay, hit filter players, and now everyone's number is going to show up here. I have a Google Sheet again, and it is here. So basically, I'm gonna duplicate this. Oh, I have to do it this way. File, make a copy. So I'm gonna say 2025 spring or info. All right, so essentially you copy all of this, and this one is 3035 women's. So I'm gonna go to the tab that's 3035 women's. You might need to change this name if it's got a different time. I paste this over here. I delete that column. I delete these columns, and then I copy this formatting. Okay. And then, oops, 1 second. That one doesn't want to copy over. Okay. And then I basically delete this, put this over. Okay. And then what I try to do is, so this is the one sheet for the host that I have. Basically have a clipboard that sits out on a podium, and it's got enough sheets for all the weeks. I just print one of these for the host in case she needs to call someone or needs to know all the people's numbers. That's at the back of the clipboard. But then so there's just print one of these, and then I also make the check-in sheet. So I'm gonna duplicate that tab, and I basically say I get rid of, or I change this to, what do I change it to? Oh, present. Okay. So just say present, get rid of this, and then I insert a checkbox. You can do it differently if you want, but this is basically how I do it. And then I print, let's say there's 10 weeks, I print 10 of these. Okay? One of these, 10 of these, and then all the people can check off their name. And that's essentially, if a host does want a check-in sheet, that's what I make for them. I also send them this Google Sheet link so that they have access to all of their players' phone numbers. So that's how you do the check-in sheets if they want it. I think currently the only person that wants it right now is the Wednesday 2530 women's. All the rest of them said they do not. But you can see I needed to kick off 4 of 5 ladders, which means I had to be there and tell everyone how to do it. And what I do for that is I have, like I said, the Google Doc that's available to the public. I just print this and go over the bullet points of these. And basically you can just refer to this when you go through and talk about the league. So essentially now I'm going to just do the rest of the same thing that I did. So once you finalize this league, just go to the next and follow the same guidelines and find the hosts and everything, and it should be good to go. And then the next step is to promote it, which I will show you now. Okay, so to promote the leagues, we have the social at All in Pickleball Gym email access to Canva, which you have a pro Canva. So I have ladder league stuff in here, which is down here. So what you want to do is probably duplicate this whole thing, okay? And it should show up here. We're gonna call it Spring 2025 Ladder Leagues. So inside of this, there's multiple different things we can do. These are posts to kind of update people and everything, but the very first one is the one that we want to work on. You can change the background, anything like that, but essentially we want to, once we put in all of these dates in Court Reserve and verify that all the dates work and we did the correct days off and the pricing, once that's done, then we want to go in here and update this info so that we can export this image and promote it on Facebook and Instagram, as well as email everyone on Court Reserve about the new ladder leagues. So you can see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 leagues here, and it looks like I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 currently for that. 1, 2, 6. Okay, so looks like we got rid of one of the flex leagues, but basically all you have to do is just highlight over one of them and delete it and rearrange. So essentially you're just putting in you make sure you double check, but the Monday, Tuesday, dates and times in here, as well as the pricing. And then down here is the registration opening dates, letting them people know when it should be. So just make sure you update all of this, and that's what you can do. Down below, as we're getting registrants and we need people to fill some of these, I give them updates on how many spots are left in each category, so they kind of know, like, oh, you better get in, there's only 6 spots left. This is another spots left thing. I have things that let people know, like, non-members can now register, right? All that kind of stuff. So I have quite a few things here. Here's a generic page that tells people what ladder leagues are about, so that might help for people to understand if they're new to the leagues. So yeah.